What's going on, guys? What's going on, ladies? What's going on, fellas? Welcome, welcome. lakeisha-mcknight is here. I want to welcome each and every one of you to the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. That's right, we are officially live. We are indeed live. And it's not that we're live just on Facebook, but we're live on Spreaker. We're live over at iHeartRadio. We're live at the Leadership TKO station.com website. And so we're live in several places, and potentially right now, thousands of people can plug in and grab a hold of the information here. Now, we do this show live every single evening around 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Notice I said around, simply because there are multiple things going on. Like, for example, even after this particular show tonight, because it is a Wednesday at 10 o'clock p.m., many people, many of my business partners are going to be tuning into a very special live stream slash call. It's called the Freedom Call with an amazing, amazing mentor, Mr. Ty Best. So we're going to be definitely staying plugged into that. All right. But we have a lot of things going on, and I do not want you to miss it. And so I want to be as concise as possible with the information that I'm sharing with you. And I know that on average, most people's attention span is not extremely long. So it's very good to be concise when sharing information, okay? But this show, we definitely invite you to take some notes. We definitely invite you to love this stream, love the podcast as you're tuning in. Share your comments and your thoughts below in the comment section. And then we also have that share button so you can do your own watch party. You can share this out to as many people as you like. Because the whole goal of this show, if you're new and you're just tuning into this show, maybe for the first time, all right, I'm a leadership specialist, a wealth mentor. The whole goal of the show is to empower leaders like yourself with the ability to win from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. That is what we're here to do. So if you want to grow your influence, if you want to become more of an influential leader, maybe perhaps as a public speaker or as a marketer, stay plugged in. For those of you who want to have an impact on the lives of people, maybe you're trying to figure out this whole ability to mentor others or perhaps coach other people or provide consultation services for people, we help you in that area as well. And then maybe, just maybe, you want to grow your income. You want to figure out how does passive income work? How do you really build wealth? Well, that's what we're going to help you with as well, a part of this show. So again, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for being here and being plugged in. So we have yet another great topic we're going to talk about that's really going to lead greatly into the information that may be shared tonight by Mr. Best and some of the other amazing leaders that's connected to a huge money system that's transforming lives around the world. Now, I don't know if many of you know, have heard about this gentleman here. Let me see if you know about this gentleman. Boom! Right? Robert Kiyosaki. He's like a distant mentor for many people. I had the pleasure of really just connecting with his team many years ago, where they gave me some great information, trained me on some good stuff, helped me to really grow my training business, not just to be located here in the U.S., but to be abroad so that I was able to expand my company into Nigeria. So I was doing some training, some conferences, some workshops in Nigeria. I'm extremely humbled and grateful for the experience of being able to work with his team. Powerful time. But this particular book here, this resource really educates many people about money. Okay, it educates many people about money and really how to really leverage it, how to really go about really just making a huge difference where you're building wealth, not just for yourself, but for others. You're helping other people to do the very same thing. And so you might see the topic matter at hand tonight. We're talking about why some people, right, they invest in fake assets. Okay, they invest in fake assets. And he talks about this. Robert Kiyosaki, he speaks of it clearly in this particular book, but more specifically in chapter 14 of this book. But what really caught my attention is what really leads into the topic that he speaks of. Because he talked about this a lot, which really many of us can resonate with when it comes to the power of words. So bear with me a little bit And we're going to lead into this topic as to why some people invest in fake assets. You ready? Hopefully you're ready. Okay? Here is what he says as it pertains to the power of words. And then we're going to talk about, really assets versus liability. So here we go. Let's talk about it a little bit. He says, when he's asked what's the secret to becoming rich, he often says there are many secrets, but one secret is the power of words. He says if a person wants to become rich, they must learn to control the words that they think and speak, which sort of goes with the Bible verse that talks about as a man thinketh, so is he, right? And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What are you saying? What are you speaking? Because there's life and death in the power of the tongue. So it speaks of this, right? And he even quotes scripture in this particular book. He quotes John 1:14, where it says, and the word became flesh and dwelt among us. Okay? And here's what he also talks about. He talks about his rich dad often. And if you remember his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, understand the difference. He said he points out some differences in their language, rich dad versus poor dad. He says poor people says, I can't afford it. Rich people ask, how can I afford it? Right? It goes back to that thought of not necessarily living within your means, but rich people ask themselves, how can they expand their means? It's not that you're out there just spending money haphazardly and not thinking about what you're doing and making wise choices, but they're expanding their means. They're not trying to just be tight all of the time when it comes to money. He also mentions poor people say, I'm not interested in money. You might hear that often in dialogue. They don't even really talk about money. Those people who are broke don't talk about it really at all. Okay, they don't really have a huge interest as well. But he says, rich people say, if you are not interested in money, money is not interested in you. So money may be running away from you because you're not interested in it. The energy that you're sending out there into your environment is not attracting wealth, is not attracting money into your life. He also says, poor people say, I'll never be rich. Rich people say, I must be rich. I must be rich. Here's the lesson. Here's the lesson. He says, people who think and speak the words of poor people should use a financial planner and invest in paper assets. This is what he says, right? He says, for people who think and speak the words of a poor person, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, savings, and insurance are enough. Let me repeat this one more time. He says, look, for people who think and speak the words of a poor person, they normally just consider stocks, bonds, right? Mutual funds, ETFs, savings, and insurance. They think that that's enough. But of course, possibly better than doing really nothing at all. But there is better. There is better than that. And so he then begins to transition, even in this same chapter, he begins to transition and talk about the difference between assets and liabilities, right? He says Rich Dad's definition of assets is assets put money into your pocket. Okay, assets, I think about it in terms of add, right? Add assets. Assets add to your pocket. Rich Dad's definition of liabilities, on the other hand, liabilities take money from your pockets. That's a simple way to think about assets and liabilities. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. So think about it in terms of that. So let's think about it here. Let's get even more specific relative to our topic matter tonight as to why some people choose to invest in fake assets. Fake assets. Okay? And he says billions of people invest in fake assets. He says a 401k, this is what Robert Kiyosaki says, right, is a fake asset because cash keeps flowing out of your pocket for years. For years. He says an individual retirement account, or in other words, an IRA, is a fake asset. Why? Because it takes money out of your pocket for years. He continues on and says this: a government pension is a fake asset because it's taking money out of your pocket for years. And he keeps going. He says a mutual fund is a fake asset. So are stocks, bonds, ETFs, and savings. Savings as in putting money in a traditional savings account in a bank. Fake. They are all derivatives. You see, mutual funds are loaded with fees. Fees that make the rich people, the wealthy people, richer. That's what happens with the fees. The fees has to go somewhere, right? It's going to those who are already wealthy. And so what happens? Those who are putting money into the bank and these other different options are becoming poorer, while the rich are becoming richer. He says insiders know mutual fund investors put up 100% of the money, take 100% of the risk, yet gain less than 20% of the profits. So you're thinking you're getting something out, you're thinking that you're going to be capitalizing off of this, and you're getting barely anything for trying to leverage those potential assets, which are really fake. They're fake. They're all connected to the dollar. It's fake. All right, totally fake. He says, and again, mutual funds and ETFs, which are derivatives or fake assets, are best for the average investor. Passive investors without real financial education. So here's what Robert Kiyosaki is saying. The average investor is a passive one. A passive one doesn't really know what's going on. You hand it over to somebody else, right? To take care of it. So you have no clue what's going on with the money that's supposed to be placed in these assets. And then when you go back to them, you find out that you don't have as much as you thought that you did. Fake assets. He says this, here is the problem. Here is the problem, right? If there is another crash that happens, we're talking about a financial crash, global crash, right? If there is another crash, you see, moms and pops' money that was put in the 401k, those ETFs, those stocks and bonds and mutual funds, guess what happens? Just as it did in 2008, it can happen again. So here's the big thing that I want you to take note of, okay? Remember, assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities takes money out of your pocket. Note that. And you want to be wise when it comes to where you're placing those dollars. The dollars need to be put to work. They need something. They need, you shouldn't be needing money. Money should need you. Money should be trying to figure out, where am I going to go next? You should be directing wherever those dollars should go. Where are you placing those dollars? Even though we know that the dollar is currency at this point, it stopped being money in 1971 when it was no longer backed or linked or connected to gold. Ever since then, it stopped being money and it became fiat currency. You might as well just call it fake money. Counterfeit money, right? The value of that dollar began to decrease, so much so that even today, a dollar is really truly only worth about 5 cents. Okay? You can barely purchase anything with a dollar. So what you need to be thinking about now, and I am not a financial advisor, I'm only sharing this based on the content of Robert Kiyosaki's book and my own experience. Choose wisely the vehicle where you want to park those dollars. The dollar should be put to work so that it's working smarter for you. You should not be having to work hard for money. Rich people, millionaires, work smarter. They don't necessarily work harder. You see, that's the poor mentality. I got to work hard. I got to work hard. I got to work hard. I got to put my sweat and my tears. Now, there's going to be some effort you have to put into doing whatever you're doing. It's not going to be just a cakewalk. at all. It's going to help grow you, if anything. But you're being smart about it so that the results is what you're looking forward to at the very end. You want to make sure that your dollars are working hard for you. Okay, you want to learn how to have that cash flow coming in. You want to be able to make money while you sleep so you do not work until you die. If you're not putting those dollars to work, you will continue to work for money. It doesn't matter what type of covering context you put it in. Some people say, I have a business, but listen, if in the business those dollars are not working for you, you will continue to work for money. Think about it. Think about people in your family, right? Those people, think about those we pass by in some food stores and department stores. Most of them are a little bit older. They thought they were going to have it together. They thought that the plan was going to be grand at the very end of their lifespan, where they're going to be able to live off of those dollars they put in that 401k. And I've spoken to plenty of them where they had to make a decision. Some of them told me, well, Lakeisha, I had to make a decision as to whether I was going to eat one day or pay for my medicine with the money that was supposed to be in the 401k. Not enough to live. So you need to be thinking about what you need to do now. Okay? You need to figure out how to put those dollars to work. And if you have a 401k, you need to put it in a vehicle that's going to help those dollars to grow. The more you leave it connected and without any type of connection to a physical asset that will help those dollars to grow, the poorer you're going to become. And you might find yourself having to get a job. But you don't have to do that. There are better options. If you want financial freedom, listen up. If you want financial freedom, thinking about Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, financial freedom is found, again, it is found on the right side. And it might be this way for you guys looking at it, looking at me. But it's found on the right side of the quadrant. Those who are business owners and then those who are investors have the opportunity to achieve financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. Those on the left side of the quadrant who are employed or self-employed, you will continue to have to work until you die because money is not working for you. You are working for money. So what do you want to see happen for yourself? Okay? No decision is a decision. Inactivity is a decision. Investigating for weeks and months is a decision. You need to make a concise decision. Nothing is going to change until you change. All right? Change isn't change until you change and until you take action. So I just want to say thank you. And for those who are watching, you're trying to figure out, well, why do I have this shirt on that says, we tried to tell y'all? Because I'm trying to tell you right now, right? Trying to let you know, educate you, inform you that there are better ways, there are better options, there are decisions that you can make tonight. You can make the decision to put your family, you and your family, on the path to financial freedom. You can put your kids in a better place years from now. So they're not taking on your debt, but that they can truly live and walk in their purpose, in their assignment, without feeling burdened because you left behind debt that they had to take care of. So what is the solution? Here's a solution I want to recommend to you, only for those of you who want freedom. There is a money system that will teach you about how you can leverage not just your own efforts, but the efforts of more people so you can establish cash flow. There is a system that will teach you and enable you to have dollars working hard for you so that you're not working so hard for money. There's a system that when you take action, you can leave an estate, a willable part of your estate, to your children or any person or people you place as beneficiaries in your account. And better yet, You can get access to this system for free. But there are recommended steps that we're going to share with you, myself and my other colleagues. These are people around the world who are doing the very same thing. They want to see you win, but it's only if your why, your desire is strong enough that we will be there for you. We will mentor you and guide you along the way. But it's really up to you, truly up to you. So again, for those of you who want to know about this system, no, I'm not offering you a network marketing opportunity. No, I'm not referencing trading, Forex. I know that's a question that many people have. No, I'm not referencing an MLM. Okay? This is an e-commerce company that provides this system where nothing is mandatory. Everything is voluntary for you to do. But we make recommendations so that you'll be able to see the results quicker. Okay, quicker. So if you want information about this money system, definitely send me an inbox message. Let me know, hey, Lakeisha, I need this information. I want to definitely help those who want it. You know your reason why you need to do it, and you're willing to do what's necessary to accomplish it. And if there's someone who's sharing this video with you on their timeline, get back with them, because 9 times out of 10, they're running. They have access to the system and they want to give you access as well. And so I just want to say I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing this particular stream and this podcast on tonight. It's been an honor. Don't forget to love the stream and share this out, all right? We're going to be back, of course, with the show tomorrow night. That's right. We're going to be here tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because 9 o'clock tomorrow, which is Thursday, we're going to have another wealth presentation. But don't forget, right after this, about 10 o'clock p.m., we're going to tune in to Mr. Ty Best, because we have the Freedom Call coming up. And then we're going to have a special meeting that's going to share information about how to get multiple streams, increase, right, that income flow into your life. That's right. So if you want to learn about that, that's coming up at 11 o'clock p.m. for all of you night owls out there. So again, thank you so much, everyone. It's been an honor. It truly has. So until the next time that you and I come together again, I do want to encourage you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night and God bless.